What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we just got some new Nouvelles and Vanquished soul support. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part of notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check these new cards out. So first off, these cards are going to be released in Duelist Advance, and I'm so excited to check these cards out because I love Vanquished Soul and I love Nouvelles. They're such fun decks to be able to play, and also it looks like we're getting a new Hungry Burger, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and see what these cards actually do. So first off, we do have a new Pendulum monster, which looks amazing. And now we finally have both of the chefs that appear on the recipe cards as Pendulum monsters, completing our Pendulum scale, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and see what this card actually does. So this card is called Chef de Nouvelles, and it is a level 3 Light Fiend Pendulum effect monster with 1000 attack and 1850 defense, and its Pendulum scale is 0. But before we go any further, guys, I do want to point out this card is a Light Fiend monster, meaning it technically works with Fiendsmith, which is really, really interesting for this deck. So for its Pendulum effect, you can only use the first and second Pendulum effect of this card's name each once per turn. For the first effect, during your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you can add a Nouvelles card from your deck to your hand, except a Pendulum monster. That is actually insane to just instantly give you the ability to add any of your Nouvelles cards you want from your deck to your hand, all this card's effect. And the deck really needed something like this to give you basically the ability to search out anything that you needed from your deck to your hand, and I really like that ability. This card is instantaneously a 3-of, because it's basically a Rhoda Pendulum monster for the deck, because it doesn't even waste your normal summon to search out anything that you need. For the second effect, if this card is a monster, or if a monster is special summon to your opponent's field, except during the damage step, you can actually special summon this card. That's a pretty good ability that if your opponent does just special summon a monster, then you can instantly bring this card out, and hopefully it has a good monster effect to go along with that ability to special summon itself to your side of the field. For its monster effects, you cannot activate the first and second effects of this card's name in the same chain. For the first effect, once per turn, quick effect, you can target an effect monster on the field and increase its level by up to 3. That's a pretty cool ability because all of your Nouvelles monsters are actually level 6 or lower for your ritual monsters, so technically you could target itself and boost itself up to level 6, so you could ritual summon out any of your Nouvelles monsters that you want to your side of the field, which is actually really nice because it would meet the requirements to help you make any of your recipes that you want, so you could actually ritual summon your monsters. For the second effect, once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can banish a recipe ritual spell from your hand, deck, or graveyard and apply that card's activation effect that ritual summons a monster. That is really good because this card basically is a 1-card ritual because of its first ability. Wow, that's actually really broken. So you just use its ability, its first ability, to basically add the Nouvelles that you want to ritual summon. Then if your opponent does special summon something to their side of the field, then you can just basically summon it out, quick effect, turn it into a level 6, and then also during your turn, or during your opponent's turn, once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can activate its effect to be able to actually ritual summon, which is insane. That's actually really, really good, just to help you go in for your ritual plays. This card is actually amazing and a 3-of in the deck. And for the third effect, if this card on the field is tributed and added to your action deck face up, you can place this card in your Pendulum Zone, which is actually a pretty cool ability to just instantly bump this card to the Pendulum Zone. But this card is amazing for the deck. This card is really, really good for the deck to help you just basically get a monster out on your side of the field, be able to actually complete our Pendulum skills because we really needed that, and be able to add anything that you need from your deck to your hand. This card is amazing for the deck. So let's go ahead and check out the new Hungry Burger. And they actually made the Hungry Burger on stream. That is so funny. I love that. So let's go ahead and see what this card actually does. So this card is a level 6 Dark Warrior ritual effect monster called Angry Burger. What does that mean? Why is it angry? Okay, and this 2800 attack and 1850 defense. Now that is some boss monster stats. Let's go ahead and see what this card does though. This card is always treated as Hungry Burger, which is pretty cool because it actually means this card is a direct retrain to Hungry Burger. And you can ritual summon this card with a recipe card, meaning you can basically use any of your Novelli's recipe cards to be able to ritual summon this out, which is pretty good. And you can only use each of the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. For the first effect, you're going to reveal this card in your hand, add a Novelli's monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. This card is instantaneously a 3-of in the deck. Instantaneously a 3-of because it helps you get to your copy of the chef. So the burger searches the chef. So that's really cool. That's really insane because it just adds any Novelli monster you want from your deck to your hand. And it's basically like Illusion of Chaos, so you can just reveal it, add the card that you need from your deck to your hand, and then keep going. For the second effect, monsters that your opponent control that can attack must attack, which is great for our Novelli's monsters because they really need your opponent monsters to be able to attack so they can actually turn into different Novelli's monsters, which is pretty cool to activate their abilities. For the third effect, quick effect, you can tribute one attack monster on either field, and if you do, special summon one Hungry Burger with 2,000 attack from your hand or deck. Yes! We can still play the original Hungry Burger at 1, and we still want to because that's really good. Oh, that's really a good effect. Oh, that's really cool. Okay. So if it's on your side of the field, you just tribute one attack monster as a quick effect, which is a disruption, to be able to just instantly special summon out Hungry Burger. That is so good. I love that ability. That is so good. It doesn't summon itself. It just summons an original copy of Hungry Burger because Hungry Burger has 2,000 attack from your hand or deck. That is so good. Yes, we still have to play the brick, but that's fine because we get to play both the burgers, dude. That is so cool. I love that. This card is a 3-of in the deck. We're playing one copy of Hungry Burger, and we're playing like 2 copies of this in the deck to help you just instantly get to the exact things that you need. But it's really good. It is searchable as well, which is really nice. And I love that about this card is so good. This card is so good for the deck, and I love that. So this is really, really interesting. But I do believe since it does count as Hungry Burger all the time, you can only play like 1 copy of Hungry Burger and 2 copies of this. Kind of like the Harpy Lady situation, where you can't play 3 copies of Harpy Lady 1 and 3 copies of Harpy Lady, the original one, because it counts as Harpy Lady everywhere. So I believe it's the same situation. I'm not sure, 100% sure, but I believe that would be the situation. But let me know down in the comments down below. So, we do have another new card, and this card is called Novelli's Recipe Book. And this card is a continuous spell card, and you can only activate one card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. For the first effect, while you control a Novelli's monster card, all face-up monsters your opponent controls are changed to attack position. That's a pretty cool ability just to shift your opponent's monsters into attack position to guarantee that you're going to be able to get them to attack. And for the second effect, each time a monster is treated by a ritual monster's effect, your opponent must pay $8.50. It's kind of like the cost of them eating at the restaurant, which is actually really cool. You know, especially like that's a really cool effect that it actually does some burn damage to your opponent. And for the third effect, once per turn, if you special summon a ritual monster, except during the damage step, you can target one of them, add a recipe or a Novelli's card from your deck to your hand, except a continuous spell, and if you do increase that monster's level by 1. That's a pretty cool ability just to be able to add another recipe or Novelli's card from your deck to your hand, except a continuous spell to be able to grab the exact thing you need. But that's a really good effect, and I love the artwork of it. Like, it's actually like a recipe book, and it has like a demon tail bookmark on it. That's really cool. I really like that. That's actually really, really nice, and I really love the artwork of it. So these are actually really good support cards. They're all going to see play in the deck. This is a 3-of. This is like a 2-of with the original burger as well. And this card's a 3-of as well, because it's just going to shift everything into attack position. Each time you tribute, they have to pay $8.50. It might be a 1-of. This might be a 1-of. I really think this might be a 1-of in the deck, because I believe it is searchable in the deck. So this is probably a 1-of. This is a 2-of. This is a 3-of. But it's really good support. So let's go ahead and check out the Vanquish Soul stuff. So for the Vanquish Soul cards, we do have a new main deck monster, and it looks really cool. I love that this is actually based on like fighting games, and it's just really, really cool. So this card is called Vanquish Soul Holy Sue, which that is actually going to get changed. We know that's going to get changed in the TCG. And this card is a level 5 Earth Psychic Effect monster with 500 attack and 2200 defense. And you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn, and you cannot activate more than one in the same chain. That's pretty interesting. For the first effect, during the main phase, quick effect, you can reveal one of the Vanquished Soul monster in your hand, special summon this card in your hand. We now have an extender. That's really nice. We did need an extender for this deck, and that's actually a really cool ability that we finally have a really good extender for this deck. For the second effect, quick effect, you can activate one of these effects by revealing monsters in your hand with the listed attributes, just like the rest of your Vanquished Soul monsters. So let's see if they're actually broken. So for the Earth and Dark, if you reveal Earth and Dark, you take control of one monster your opponent controls with the lowest attack, your choice, if it's a tie, until the end of the turn. That's really good. That's a really good effect. So we actually have a change of heart. That's really good as a quick effect to have a disruption in Vanquished Soul. That's actually insane. And for the second effect, Fire and Dark, you special summon a non-psychic Vanquished Soul monster in the deck. This card's a 3-of. This card's a 3-of. That is insane. This card is instantaneously a 3-of in the deck. You want to see this as quickly as possible. Just reveal any Vanquished Soul and special summon it, because it's a quick effect that during the main phase, so you can technically play during your opponent's turn. So you can just, during the main phase, quick effect, reveal it, and then special summon it. And that's really, really good because it plays like Havness, because it's a quick effect during the main phase, not your main phase, the main phase. So this card can technically play on your opponent's turn if you're going second, which is really, really good. And also, you can just change apart one of your opponent's monsters, or you can just special summon another Vanquished Soul monster in the deck as a quick effect. This card is definitely a 3-of and a card you want to see in your opening hand now, but this card is instantaneously a 3-of in the deck. This card is so broken. Wow. Okay, that's a great start. What else do we have? Oh, we have an XZ. We have a second monster for the X deck for the deck now. Because previously we only had Rock of the Vanquisher, and now we have an XZ monster. And we do have a lot of level 4s in the deck, and we even have Pantera that can special summon themselves to your side of the field. This card is a rank 4 Dark Pyro XZ effect monster called Vanquished Soul Rocks. Is this what was in the Rock of the Vanquisher? That might be really interesting to know. But this card has 2,000 attack and 2,500 defense, and its materials are 2+ level 4 Vanquished Soul monsters. And once per turn, if a Vanquished Soul monster battled this turn, you can also XZ summon Vanquished Soul Rocks by using one Vanquished Soul monster or a Rock of the Vanquisher you control, transferring materials to this card. That is actually insane. So you just make your copy of Rock of the Vanquisher, and then basically the rock breaks off, and it turns into the new Vanquished Soul Rocks. That's actually really cool. I like that. Okay, so what else does it do? Also, it has these abilities. Gains the following effects based on the attributes of its materials attached. I like that. So we're going to start doing that with this archetype. So it's going to turn into an XZ Link archetype where we can actually have the ability to have some XZs, and depending on the materials that you have attached to it, depends on the effects that you get between Dark, Fire, and Earth. So for the Dark material, all monsters your opponent control lose 800 attack. For Fire, Vanquished Soul monster you control gain 1,000 attack. That's really good to help you OTK. In Earth, you can detach a material in this card, destroy one card your opponent controls, non-targeting. This card is probably a 3-of in the deck. I really like that effect overall. You're going to want to put 3 materials under it, but the really cool thing about this card is it looks amazing, first off. Secondly, you can make it for 1 material. And third, it's very easy to guarantee you're going to get that Earth material under it. I wish it was a quick effect detach pop, but just that little bit of a boost. You're going to push stuff like Caesar up to 4,000. You're going to push other monsters that you control like this card up to 3,000. You're going to push Ryzen up into the 2,000s. It's just really insane. Borger is going to be like 35. Like, that's really good. Even Holy Sue is going to be like what? It just gains attack. Holy Sue will be 1,500. Like, that's pretty good. If you put Dark and Earth under this thing, all your Vanquished Soul monsters are going to be able to just swing over any monster your opponent controls. Like, this is really good and really, really cool. So what else do we have? We have Vanquished Soul Start. And it's a field spell. We have a field spell for Vanquished Soul. What does this do? Okay, that's really cool. What is it actually? Please be broken. Okay. So you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. It's called Vanquished Soul Start. This is actually like the starting screen of it. It reminds me a lot of Soul Calibur. Like that really makes me think of like Soul Calibur and fighting game main menus. That's really cool, where you have like the map and you're trying to go around the world. And like, that's really cool. Okay. So you can actually target a Vanquished Soul monster you control, add a Vanquished Soul monster with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. We got a Rhoda. Yes, we have a Rhoda field spell. That's really cool. Okay, so for the second effect, if a Vanquished Soul monster you control would be destroyed by battle of a card effect, you can reveal a Vanquished Soul monster in your hand instead. So hey, I didn't lose the round. We're going to go into round 2. I can reveal a monster and it doesn't go down. That's pretty cool. So it's like kind of like tagging him in and out. Kind of sort of, but you don't special summon. You just use the ability to reveal it. Go, hey, he didn't get destroyed. He's fine. Okay. During the, for the third effect, during the end phase, if you control 2 or more Vanquish Soul monsters, you can set a Vanquish Soul trap from your deck. We can instantly get to Snow Devil. That is really good. That is really good support. This is a 3-of. So this is a 3-of, this is a 3-of, and this is a 3-of. Okay, so this is going to be a really interesting set for Vanquish Soul. Hopefully this is at least a super or an ultra rare. This, I would love to see as an ultra rare, and I believe this is probably going to end up being like a super rare, but it's really good support. Overall, this is amazing support for Vanquish Soul, and I don't think it's going to make him tier 1, but it's going to make him really good as a rogue contender, and it's a really fun deck already, but now it's going to be even more fun, and I'm super excited about this. This is cool. This is really good support, guys, for both Novellies and Vanquish Soul. And we do have a couple other cards I'm really quickly going to talk about with you guys as well, as I didn't talk about these before, but we do have a new Link Slayer Ad-Ignister that is going to be released in Duelist Advance. We're just going to kind of put these in this video as well, but we do have the Link Slayer Ad-Ignister, and this card is a level 5 Dark Cyverse effect monster with 2000 attack and 600 defense, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. For the first effect, if a Cyverse monster you control would be used as a link material for an Ad-Ignister link monster, this card can be used in your hand as a material, which is a pretty cool effect to help you just go in for more link plays, especially with all the new basically Ad-Ignister cards we're getting in Duelist Alliance, or in Alliance Insight, and so this card is going to be really, really good. For the second effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard as a link material, you can discard a card, target spell trap on the field, or you can target 2 if this card's on the field and was used as a material and destroy those targets. Pretty good overall. I think this card might be a 1-of an Ad-Ignister, maybe a 2-of an Ad-Ignister, but it's overall really cool to actually like be able to use this card as a link material from your hand, but it's a really, really neat card. We also have a card that's based on an old school pack called Return of the Duelist. If you guys don't know that pack, it actually had Heroic Challenger Excalibur on the front of it, which is really Heroic Champion Excalibur on the front of it. And it's actually the same monster on this card, which is really cool. So let's see what this card does. It's super simple. It's why I wanted to throw it in this video. But this card's called Return of the Duelist and has a super simple effect as a normal spell card. And you only activate one of this card's name per turn, only one set turn. And in this card, for the first effect and only effect, if there is an XZ monster on the field or in the graveyard, you can add an equip spell from your deck to your hand. That is a broken ability. This card's probably going to end up being a secret rare in the set, as it is an equip spell searcher if you do have an XZ monster in the graveyard or on your field, grabbing the exact cards you need. But it's basically a heroic challenger support card, so it's pretty good for that deck. But it can be used in a lot of different decks. You can even use this inside of Noble Knights, which would be really cool as well, as it can grab you any of your equip spells that you want. So this card is probably going to be a 3-of in Noble Knight and probably a 3-of in Heroic Challenger, but it's pretty good overall. We have one last card to talk about, and we do have a new Argo Star card, and this card is really cool. It's called Argo Star Courageous Aron, and we now finally have an extra deck monster for Argo Star. So let's see what this card actually does. So this card is a rank 4 Dark Warrior XZ effect monster with 2200 attack and 2200 defense, and it just requires 2 level 4 monsters as a material, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn, and once per turn you can also XZ summon this card by using 1 Argo Star monster you control, transferring its materials to this card. That's insane that we can make a 1 card XZ play using this card. For its effects, for the first effect, if this card is XZ summoned, you can actually add an Argo Star spell from your deck to your hand. That's a pretty good effect, so we can actually add anything that we need from our deck to our hand on this card's effect. That's a spell card. This card actually helps out a lot for Argo Star, so you can get to different cards that you need. And for the second effect, during the standby phase, you can detach 2 materials from this card, and then place 3 Argo Star continuous traps from your graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone, which basically just sets you up completely for your Argo Star cards. This card is one of the key cards in the deck now that you want to play, and it's going to be a 3-of inside of Argo Star because you're going to need this card all the time, and you can just make it for 1 material, making it super easy to make cards like Zeus on the follow-up, which is going to be insane because it's going to have 1 material under it, plus it's going to have itself, so it gives you 2 materials under a copy of Zeus to be able to summon out your copy of Zeus to board wipe. and also during the standby phase, you can use its ability to basically just step into 3 Argo Star cards that are in the graveyard, which is really, really good. But this card is amazing in the deck and definitely gonna be a 3 of. So definitely tell you guys to think about the new support cards. I think the Nouvelles got some of the best support cards, but I really think Vanquish Soul actually got the best support cards out of them all, because Holy Sue is, oh my god, that's so good. This card is really, really good, and the Vanquish Soul start is insane. But all 3 of these are really insane for the decks and just really, really good overall. So that's gonna be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come part of the notification squad. We'll see you guys in the next video. So later, guys.